Hello. Yesterday was my first YouTube broadcast kind of thing that I've been doing. Actually, it was more inspiring for me um, to get through because once you kind of put it out there, it honestly helps you to cope better. Um, Sorry, I'm in my backyard, my house, my own place, my safe haven. I kind of went to the backyard because I know the front was a little bit noisy. But I wanted to touch on more. From the very beginning, I actually was with someone else where I was going to be married, and we both fell into a very heavy and deep depression. My abuser I have known since I was in ninth grade, so he would always understand and know when I would have my ups and downs. And he put everything in my head that my fiance was no good. And I wasn't in love with him. He wasn't in love with me. There was no way that he should be treating me that way. And just things that would make sense to you. But at the time, it doesn't really click on what they're trying to do. And throughout, he was utilizing to get to what I had. And I didn't even see this coming because, why would someone go through all that? I even called off my wedding and I moved in with him, and it was rough even before we got together because he manipulated where he was going through his divorce, and he got into an altercation with his wife and manipulated everyone around him, saying he didn't do it. It was a he said, she said thing. And, knowing him for 20 plus years, it's like it all made sense when he was speaking it. And, even friends, mutual friends around us, he had fooled. And it just, he was so good at manipulating. And there was times I was calling up my girlfriends and being like, I don't know what to do because this isn't right, or he threw cans into the wall, and then it was my blame why he did that because I kept pushing for an apology. Who does that? He sat there, and it was like his kids were hating me and they didn't want to come over, so it was my fault why they weren't coming over. And then he was jealous that I had custody of my kids. It's just, you honestly don't really know a person until you live with them, really. And then it just got worse and worse. And there was a moment in time, my daughter's boyfriend was over there, and he's 16, he's autistic. We got to handle him a little bit different. And with me being in school, I understand. I was a teacher for over 5 years. And I knew how to deal with him. And he would always try to do something to, excuse my language, but piss him off, to make him react. And it was like always drama, always living in fear of a fight happening. And then always hearing the words, I'm sorry. Let's talk about this. Let's not be mad when we go to sleep. Let's not do this. Let's not do that. And he'd say that and then turn around a couple days later, going through the same thing that we just talked about. Domestic violence isn't just hitting someone. It's screaming. I mean, obliterating. He would just like, no breath and just going off on me. And I'm on the floor, like having an anxiety attack and attacking me with just words. But he pushed my self-esteem so down that I didn't feel beautiful anymore. I didn't do my hair anymore. I stopped taking care of me because I was so worried about taking care of everyone else, and I was being left behind. And honestly, our self-care, we have to take care of ourselves. We have to take care of ourselves to be able to take care of our kids, to get them through this, because my daughter is 16 going through that. She turned from 15 to 16, and things just escalated quickly. It was like all at once. You know, there was always a fight, or always, oh, well, my ex-wife hates you, or it was always my fault why something happened. And I didn't get that until now, because it was a constant fight between the kids. So I always thought, well, the kids aren't getting along. You know, Annie and his son, they were great friends before this. We all had connections because they grew up knowing him, and we never seen anything like this out of him. And it's like he perfected it. He perfected it in a way and in a manner that he's still doing it to this day. I lost a lot of my friends leaving. I even lost my cousin, you know, a family member and everything. They're taking his side and believing what he has to say because he's been friends with them. It's crazy. It's crazy. But I'm the one paying for all of this. I'm doing my counseling. I am going through so many steps to heal myself. And then I'm also trying to heal my daughter, because his son touched my daughter inappropriately. And there's other girls coming forward, and that's what made it get so bad before I left. He was threatening me to take my daughter down to have her lie and say his son never touched her, never did anything, that she lied. And if I take her down there and do that, she's the one getting in trouble. And he didn't care. He does not see that his son did anything wrong. And that is where he is wrong. If my kids are wrong, I'm going to say, hey, they're wrong. But my daughter, she didn't deserve it. She will not be invalidated. And throughout this whole entire time, he was trying to invalidate me and my feelings and how I react and everything, and invalidate my daughter. No one needs to be invalidated. Your feelings are your feelings, and they are valid. They will always be valid. They will always be first and foremost. And I'm sorry. You are important. It's empowering to see someone go through the same thing. But it's even more empowering to even just record yourself and look and listen to it. And yesterday was the very first time I felt confident. I've been doing my hair, even though it's not kind of done right now. But I have been taking care of me. I have court tomorrow. And I feel confident because I know what I'm saying will be the truth. Nothing feels better than to know that's all you have on your side is the truth. Because that is all you need. I didn't really touch on everything I went through. There was a lot of red flags that I never saw. But I just got my school books in, and I just keep looking at my situation and what I have to do to get my master's in psychology, and I am proud of myself. I have come a far way in such a short time. And I'm making amends. Making amends with those that you know you hurt. You know, you want them back in your life. Or are they going to understand you enough to forgive you? Don't let that discourage you. You need to move on and let your past go, and making those amends and saying you're sorry. Whether they accept it or not, you have to accept you're being honest with yourself. If they don't want to accept it, then they weren't there for you. They actually, they want to write you off. Let them. But you see you're wrong. When you see you're wrong and you want to make it right, that is your validation for yourself. I have been making amends, and I spoke with my ex-fiance, and there's still feelings there for him. Lots of feelings. Because that was the man I was going to marry. Then I got manipulated to think he wasn't anything. He wasn't important. But he is. And he understood, and he forgave me. And that filled me with so much peace. So much inner peace that that's all I needed. And who knows where anything goes. My life is coming together. My life, I am getting back. I feel empowered. I feel humble for everyone and anything in my life. I've lost a lot through this, but it's been very humbling because those who have stuck by me, I know are my real and true friends, those are very rare. And for my ex-fiance to say, I understand and I believe you, I forgive you. I went through a year and a half when it was the hardest times in my life, thinking about him. In essence, he really got me through a lot, because if there was times I really didn't want the sex with him, and my escape was thinking of him and how he would touch me so sweetly. And it made those unbearable things bearable. Because I don't know how else I would have gotten through that. We're just praying that I could get out and have the strength but you and everybody that need to get out, because so much yelling. Oh, you don't want to hear any more yelling. There would be times I was cuddled in the corner rocking myself because it was so bad. Or he'd start throwing something across the room and broke the glass and flipped the table, or take his cup and flick it across the way, and you can hear it all the way upstairs. You know, people like that really need more than just anger management, because he's already in domestic violence classes for strangling his ex-wife, and he's already been through anger management classes. Wouldn't he already know that that was wrong? And these are the guys it's just going to keep on going to the next person. And that's why I want to make this known, because I don't want it on to the next person. His father is just, I was taking care of them, and he was sitting there just like eating like it was popcorn and watching a show. He sat there and didn't do anything, didn't see anything wrong, but yet he was supposed to be a mediator between us to help us. But once he got into that house, things changed. It got worse. It got so bad, because it's not just times 1 or 2, it's times 3. And it's a pattern between all 3 of them. I mean, I seen his father even treat his wife like trash. The dog's pooped on the floor and she's got dementia, and he goes, because I don't want it, you go ahead and pick it up. You know, really? She's sick. She has dementia. She barely knows where she's at, and then you're making her do stuff that you don't want to do? You can see it in their dad, you can see it in themselves, and you can see it in their kids. If you see it in those 3 places, run like hell. It takes some time to see it. But once you see it, you just need to book it, because it's 3 against 1, and none of them care what they do. I'm so much happier. I'm at peace within myself. I'm beautiful, and I can say these things and believe it. A couple weeks ago, I probably would have said shush. Yeah, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear those things from certain people. I didn't want to be touched by another man. And things are changing. I haven't been taking my anxiety meds for the last few days. I've been feeling so calm and so peaceful within myself after I've been gone. My house is quiet. Even with my daughter and with teenagers, they can be a little rambunctious with their boyfriends or whatever in the house. But I see my daughter kind of following in my footsteps. It's a little scary. She has to make her own decisions, but I'm seeing her decisions walking down my path. So what we do, our kids see. But also, my daughter's seeing how strong of a person I am, too. So I have to trust her and her judgment on if it gets bad, she's going to have the same strength I have to get out. But hopefully they don't move in together anytime soon, because that's when it will really hit. And she knows I'll be here, though, for her. But that's going to be a whole other thing, because this is a pattern that we even put on for our kids. If we don't get out, our kids are going to either go through the same, or they're going to acknowledge it and not even want to be with someone. And we want our kids to move on in their lives and not be afraid. But let me tell you, I got out July 10th, I do believe. By the 18th, said I was exposed to COVID. Then they had a party outside. So, two people have presented positive with this COVID virus. And they said that we were exposed June 29th. And then July 18th is when I found out, and he didn't even want to say anything. So, kind of facing that a little bit. But CDC says, if we're exposed June 29th, and we have had no symptoms, we're okay. That's our quarantine time. But now my mom's having some signs. Hard time breathing. But I don't know if it's her end-stage COPD or what it is. So I've got a lot of things going on my plate. But I will tell you, nothing is any better than being out. I didn't think I could do this on my own, because it's been, 8 years since I've been out on my own. And, I've been paying the bills and everything and all, but I haven't done it without someone else's income for a while. And, I'm caretaker for my mom, and that's all the money that I get in. And I try to pick up here and there things. But God has presented its way for me to be able to take care of my family and stay single for as long as I can. And going to school and complete that, and then I can go to school and get my PhD. We always have our downfalls, even if we're going to school for, like me, psychology. But it gives us more of an understanding. We've had it hands-on. We can explain it because, you know what? We've been through it. So God always puts us in a place that we can learn, and we can utilize what we learn from our own life and helping someone else. I hope I've given anyone and someone else, at least I've given some hope. Life is better out. Life doesn't have to be always crying and sobbing and saying I'm sorry. Instead of saying I'm sorry, say thank you. Thank you for being there for me. Thank you for helping me. Thank you for seeing what I see. Stop the whole madness of I'm sorry. Because you know what? I probably will not say I'm sorry ever again. Because when they would say I'm sorry, it was meaningless. And to me saying I'm sorry, it just seems like a broken record. I don't want to be a broken record. I want my life to be what I want it to be, and I want it to be different. So I'm going to make it different. I want to go ahead and do like a group or something, go live and have everybody come on and talk. I think that'd be really, really cool to do. Because there are so many out there that are dealing with different situations and different instances of domestic violence. And us as women, we have to be empowering and help each other. So, as far as today, I think today is the 22nd. It's Wednesday. I'm going to be getting my daughter today. I'll probably bring her on this with me. Because you need to see the side of a child, too. But I'm proud of you. You need to get out, make a way, escape route, put money aside. Have no money, go to a family member. Do whatever you can. Because you are enough and you are very important. Each and every one. See ya.